Hello, my name is Renee Wallace, and I will be teaching your Principles of Research for Behavioral Science majors, Psych 34, 35, here at Tarleton this spring semester 2025. My name is, like I said, Miss Wallace, so you can call me Mrs. Wallace, Instructor Wallace, whatever preface you want, but not Dr. Wallace, not yet, unfortunately. We'll see about one day. But congrats to you for deciding that you wanted to take Principles of Research online. That's pretty impressive. So I'm just going to spend a second going through the syllabus with you so you can kind of see what we're looking at this semester and hopefully make it make more sense. Let me share my screen. Okay, so here is our class syllabi. So you can see up here, we have all our class information. Here's my email, my office hours. If you want to meet on Zoom at a different time or during those times or a phone call, just reach out to me, let me know. So you need the Process of Research in Psychology, 5th edition by McBride. You're going to need the APA manual, 7th edition, and you're going to need to be able to use JASP. JASP is a free software that you're going to need to download to your computer. So if you have a Chromebook, it will not work because you have to actually be able to download the program, but you can use it with Apple or Microsoft. It just needs to be an actual computer. Then you'll download that, and it's free. So make sure you get those. You can get those from wherever you want, Amazon, the school bookstore, used ebooks, regular books, whatever works for you is fine, but you need access to the APA manual and that research book. So there's kind of three main food groups to our class. There's exams, there's quizzes, and then there's labs. And those will all come together to help you do these psychology concepts that you've kind of been talking about in the abstract in your other psych courses, in statistics, in some of your other stats heavy courses or ethics, whatever, right? You've talked about these concepts, but this course really puts it all together. It puts the research idea and the stats math together for you to actually conduct your own experiments under this really specific condition and then write about it in APA format as if it were going to be published in a journal article. So it's a really cool applied class, and it's not easy, but it's not that hard either if you pay attention and you really think about what you're doing and what you're learning and how you're applying what you've been learning for the last few years. So you can see the exams here. It's a 500-point class. So exam 1, 2, and 3 are all 100 points each. Exam 1 is over the first half of the textbook, roughly. Exam 2 is over the second, and then exam 3 is your final, and that's cumulative over the whole textbook. And then you have quizzes over each chapter, and then your lab assignments equal up to 100 points. So let's talk about that a little bit. Here are your due dates for your exams. They're all on Canvas, but they're in lockdown browser. So make sure that you only have that tab open and you're ready to take the book. So that is a problem if you get the ebook. So maybe have a different device that you're reading the ebook on because you won't be able to toggle back and forth during the exam with the ebook because it's a lockdown browser. Quizzes are 20% of your grade. Each quiz is worth 10 points. And everything in our whole class is due on a Sunday. So we'll go to the due dates in a second, but everything's due on a Sunday night by 11:59. So you can have the whole week. Everything's open except the final right now. So you could work ahead for the whole class. You could work ahead a few weeks so you have a little bit of a buffer, whatever works for you. But there's no reason for you to turn in anything late because everything's open right now, like I said, except the final. And I don't take late work. You can see my late work policy in the syllabus, but I know that life happens and things happen, and oh, I didn't get that uploaded in time. I had a really crazy weekend. Well, you know all week that it's due on Sunday at 11:59. So it would have to be a very, very major reason for me to let you turn something in late because you have all this time right now to work on it. So just be cognizant of the due dates and work ahead. And then lab assignments. So that's probably the most confusing part where we'll really be paying attention to details and due dates and pieces. And I plan to make a video for each one to kind of help you understand what you're analyzing and how you're analyzing it and how you're going to analyze it in JASP and how you need to write it up. So stay tuned to hopefully see more videos on that. Lab 1 is about APA formatting. It's worth 10 points. It's due next Sunday, the 26th. And that's all it is. You're just going to write like a lab report, what it would look like in APA format. And then that will be your template for the whole rest of the semester to know this is what my APA lab paper needs to look like. So you'll get to use that in this class and hopefully in capstone, in your future in psychology. Lab 2 is broken down into 2 pieces. So 2.1, it's correlational design and data collection, due February 2nd. So the first part, the 0.1, lab 2.1, lab 3.1, and lab 4.1, that's the part where you go and you do this experiment on 4 volunteers of your choice, and you turn in the data to me. And then the second part of the lab, lab 2.2, lab 3.2, lab 4.2, is you analyzed it and you wrote it up into an APA paper with your results. So each lab is split in half, except lab 1. That's just getting you used to remembering how to write an APA paper. So lab 2 is a correlational design, lab 3 is an independent groups design, and then lab 4 is a factorial design, a NOVA, and it's serious. So you'll do that. You can see the due dates here at the bottom of the syllabi. So like I said, everything's due on a Sunday by 11:59. So starting next Sunday, everything's due here. The stats review is the quiz review. So the first week's pretty easy because you're just reviewing statistics to remember how to do that, and you're just doing your APA lit review write-up. So that's the first week. And then we actually get started into the chapters. So chapter 1's quiz is due February 2nd. Chapter 2 is February 9th. Chapter 3 is February 16th. Chapter 4 is February 23rd. And then you have your first exam due March 2nd. And that's over these chapters before. And then same chapter 5 is due Sunday, March 9th. And then if you look, chapter 6 and 7, they're highlighted in yellow. And that's because they're both due on the same Sunday because we have spring break coming up. So we had to squish those in there. So that's not a typo. They're really due on the same day. And then exam 2 will be over those 3 chapters. And then you just have 2 chapters left, 8 and 9. And then exam 3 is cumulative over everything else. And then if you scroll down further, you can see where these labs come in. Lab 1, Sunday, January 26th. Lab 2.1, February 2nd. 2.2, February 16th. So on and so forth. So go to the module section here. And that's where you can see the instructions for every one of the labs. So you can open it up and it says, here's lab 1, you're writing an APA template, here's some examples, and then here's the link for the paper that you're going to download. So it'll download an APA paper and you have to reformat it and get it 100% correct. So here's the bad version. And then you need to turn this into what an APA lab report would look like. You can see all that there. And so if you go back, say we made it to module or lab 2. So you open up lab 2.1. And this is talking about what you're going to be experimenting on, right? You're going to find 4 volunteers and you're going to measure the relationship between objectivity and creativity. And this is how you're going to do it. Here's how you're going to collect your data. The 4 participants can be anyone that you want, family, friends, people you stopped on the street, maybe, I'm not sure. But they need to be 18 years or older for consent. So just make sure they're grown-ups. And then here's the link. So when you open this link here, this is the entire packet that you need. So here's your materials packet. This page right here, this data summary page, this is the only page you're going to turn in. So when it says lab 2.1 is due, lab 3.1, lab 4.1 is due, this is the only page I want you to turn in. Because I'm going to take this data from every person in the class, turn it into a big Excel document, send it back to you, and that's what you're going to analyze in JASP to write your reports. So as you scroll through, you can see here's your inventory of student explanation preferences. You'll give them that, all 4 of your participants. You'll grade it, participant 1's, and then here's their coat hanger test. Look at the instructions for that. Participant 2's grade for the ISEP, their coat hanger test. 3's grade for the ISEP, their coat hanger test. And then you'll take all 4 of your participant scores for each one, and you'll put that here along with their age and their gender. That's what you'll turn in. And it's the same for all of the labs. So you'll do that for 2, 3, and 4. It'll just be a different experiment that you're conducting. If you need to conduct it on the same people and you can get those same 4 people to do all 3 of your experiments, that is totally fine. And if you choose new people, that's okay too. So look through those. Let me know if you have any questions. Lab 4.1 has a pretty extensive experiment packet. And so there's 4 different conditions and groups, and that's the, the last one of the semester, so it's the most complicated. So you can see that material packet right here. It's its own link. Lab 4.1 doesn't have 2 labs, it's just one, but here's the materials packet here that you can download. So look through those, see if you have any questions, but those are the main pieces of the class, and I'll post announcements every week reminding you what's coming up. I think I'll post the PowerPoints so you can look at those, but I might post lectures for all of them. We'll see. Stay tuned for that and an announcement, but I at least wanted to get the syllabus video posted today. So reach out with any questions, and I'm glad you're here.